Hi everyone, my name is Xiang Li. I'm a Chinese student studying economics. It might be very surprising to some of you that as the second largest economic engine in the world, China is still a developing nation. And some economic data about China is not very reliable. To adjust this, I use a dynamic factor model to offer a more accurate measure of Chinese economic activity. Looking at this image helps explain the dynamic factor model. I used multiple underlying economic variables. Here, each is represented by individual elements. I used 30 or so underlying variables, so imagine 30 elements in this image. So, for example, electricity consumption. Why might it increase? Probably there's an increase in the manufacturing and production, or potentially lower than normal temperatures and more heat use. In the dynamic factor model, I only focus on those factors that relate directly to economic activity. So in this case, it's the manufacturing and production. So I juiced each individual lemon, and then I combine all those individual juice into one measuring cup, and that combination becomes economic activity factor. The fluidity of this factor is what makes it dynamic. Then I compare this factor with changes in interest rates charged by the central bank to private banks, because all other interest rates change with this interest rate. According to the standard economic theory, lower interest rates encourage borrowing and spending, and therefore stimulates economic growth. So we would expect to see a higher economic activity factor in response to a lower interest rate. I actually observed this is to be the case in China. Furthermore, I find that this effect is more significant during recessions rather than in expansions. So these two main results are consistent with what we observe in Western nations. This reveals evidence that Chinese economic system is becoming more and more liberalized and market-based. Economic growth of all nations depends on the growth of all other nations, and the global economy has entered a synchronized slowdown. Is this global slowdown temporary or long-lasting? To answer this, we do need very accurate information about Chinese economy, like what I have extracted here. Using this dynamic factor model, I juiced my lemons and made it into lemonade. Thank you very much.